Oh, numbers, 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 boys. We love the numbers. Andrew Perrin, what are we looking at here? Give us a little bit of context on this report. Why should people care about these numbers at all?
It's really, really good to compare the total growth of all these live streaming platforms year over year. This shows you where the viewership has gone, and then you can begin to look at these trends from a macro perspective and understand why might this have happened. So you can see here the black line at the top. This is our 2020, and you can see this huge increase. You see also the COVID bump, which we've talked about here in March, that rose up within 1 or 2 months. It went from 400, a little bit before 400 total million hours watched to over 600 million hours watched. So that's a huge chunk of growth. And you can see before 2020, like things were pretty consistent. Look at 2018 versus 2019. Like there's some growth, but like it's very, very consistent. And now this year, what was different about this year? The growth rate has increased by a significant portion. And I'd say primarily that is due to COVID-19. And that has changed our watch behavior. That has changed how much content of live streamers that we watch. And it doesn't look like, and I think this is the key thing that we weren't sure about, it doesn't look like it's going to go away. It looks like this growth, at least according to this chart so far, is here to stay. We have like a little bit of a dip here at the end of the year, but it looks like it's coming right back up. And it's going to go right to where it was before. And we got a straight, pretty much growth trajectory upwards. And I don't see it stopping, guys. I mean, Ross, what do you think on this
Well,
data?
tell them what they're looking at. People don't understand what this chart means. So this data that we're looking at right now, for the first time ever, you're getting to see the combined numbers of Twitch plus YouTube gaming plus Facebook gaming and seeing the performance of the entire year across the entire gaming industry. This is the first time we got to see what happened at the end of the year. A lot of people thought the numbers, including us, may chunk down and the gaming industry would maybe go back to quote unquote normal. So you're for the first time ever, you get to see, for those of you that multi-stream or trying to choose a streaming platform to go live on, this is showing you that the entire industry is going up as a whole. And this is the first time any of us have ever been able to see all these numbers together at once. Ross, are you shocked that the entire industry is holding steady?
I think the big question was, and I'm glad they put this in the side note here, is obviously you had this big chunk from March all the way up until close to even August and October, where there was just nothing else to do. So it seemed natural that obviously we're going to see a huge increase of views, most importantly because people have time. But once media like movies, TV shows started releasing, sports came back on, that's when the question started hitting. Okay, is this going to last now that people have other options? And I think I was a little skeptical. I didn't know whether it was not. It's 50-50. And to be able to see that where it is holding steady, despite all this new media coming back and giving people options, I think that's a great sign heading into 2021 where we are now.
The competition's never been more steep. And the amount of viewership has never been more steep. It went up by 81%. 81% more people are chugging hours of content on Twitch, YouTube gaming, and Facebook gaming. And this is the first real significant growth we've seen out of nowhere on these platforms. Do you think we'll see a similar pop in 2021, Andrew Perrin? Or is this kind of a once in a 5 years type of instance where you suddenly see the industry skyrocket out of nowhere for game streaming?
I mean, if you look at the trends, if we draw some more lines here, so
more lines,
is it gonna pop again? All right, so let's draw. All of these lines are actually the same, right? All you have is you have a larger like pop up during this particular event, and that was the introduction of kind of COVID-19, primarily during that time to the United States. I mean, to the rest of the world as well, but that was about when the viewership increased, at least in the Western Hemisphere. But after that bump up, I mean, the rates are pretty much the same. So I think we got like a permanent like boost upwards. But from that point, the growth rate is pretty much consistent as we were seeing before. I don't think we're going to see any other events pop it quite like that. I mean, what other event can you think of that, affects everybody and keeps them indoors and make them watch even more than they already are? I don't think you can do that again. It's already hit its maximum. We're already keeping people indoors and like isolated as much as possible.
Right.
The only place that can come is down. So I think the question is, will you see the question was, at least while we were in 2020, was, is this bump temporary? Will this come back down as, you know, eventually the world kind of deals with the pandemic and we're able to go back outside and have life as normal again? And so far, that's not been the case in the Western Hemisphere and in the United States. So it's really hard to tell if that will come back down. But I think even if we do solve that, even within the next year, you won't see it come down, because I think you've now brought so many new viewers into live stream viewing that they have adopted this as part of their normal entertainment kind of routine. And I think they'll keep that now because it's enticed them, it's hooked them. And I think they'll keep that. I don't think we're going to see this bump go away. I also don't think we're going to see any new major bumps. I think we'll just see the same consistent kind of trajectory line here that you're looking at.